Talk, shop, pop, movies.
Ahoy there, this is Derek, the Convicted Cinephile, and if you're a convicted cinephile yourself, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel down below. On my channel, I like to talk, shop, and pop open, that is, movies and physical media. And today I have yet another Favorite 3 Criterions episode, and I'm not doing a genre this time. If you can tell by my Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey t-shirt, I'm obviously doing movies that had something to do with the Best Director Oscar. Yes, here we go. So I have picked 3 films here that either won the Best Director Academy Award or were nominated for the Best Director Academy Award. And not just that it's some movie that won or was nominated for a slew of Oscars. These 3 films were either only nominated for the directing Oscar or only won the directing Oscar. So we'll get into that. So number 1, this film was only nominated for Best Director. Of all things it could have gotten, it got just a Best Director nomination. And they don't do that very often. It's usually saved for very specific people who are widely respected in the filmmaking community, whose movies overall may be a little much for a lot of people, but they have too much respect for their style not to be commended for it. And this one goes to Mr. David Lynch for Mulholland Drive, a movie that I really need to rewatch because you can't just watch it once. It takes a lot to understand what the hell is going on in this movie, and if you understand it completely, you're lying. That's the fun thing about Mulholland Drive. This is spine number 779. This is the 4K version. It's a beautiful digibook set too. It's from 2001, 146 minutes. That's one of the reasons it's not an easy watch in the first place. Not only is it a lot, it's a lot of a lot. So it's hard to get into sometimes. You got to be in the right mood for it. But we'll open this up and you can look at it. Beautiful artwork. Interesting artwork, at the very least. On the other side, you got the weird, creepy ranch cowboy guy. Blu-ray and 4K. You get the, pretty much you could just show this image and you'll know it's a David Lynch movie because all of his stuff kind of looks similar. He's one of those guys. He's a love it or hate it kind of director. I have not yet gotten into him a ton, to be honest. There's Naomi Watts. She's great in this movie. It's a good solid book too. Not solid like literally, but bigger than usual as far as Criterion Collection booklets go. So it's got a lot to it, a lot of essays and such. Yeah, this movie's batshit crazy if you haven't seen it. My favorite thing about this release is just how I found it. I actually did a video a long time ago where I was just going movie hunting and I went to Target just because I was there, so why not record it, right? And I found this at a Target, returned, marked half off, just randomly. So I didn't buy this during a Criterion sale, but I got it for half price just because someone happened to return it to that Target that I went to that day, and it was like literally lying on the floor next to where the movies were. Back when Target had movies, like 2 years ago. But yeah, Mulholland Drive, only nominated for Best Director, and you can see why, because no one else but David Lynch could make this movie. The next 2 I have are movies that were nominated for more than just Best Director, but they only won Best Director. And this one I'm going to go back to Mike Nichols in The Graduate with Dustin Hoffman. This is number 800. Nice even number there. From 1967, 106 minutes. This movie is hilarious. The first time I saw it was because it's in the AFI Top 100 Films list, not to mention a Best Picture nominee. So I bought it for that reason, and then I watched it on DVD years ago. And I thought it was okay. And then years went by and I watched it again. And I realized, oh, this movie's really funny. So if you haven't seen this movie, be in the right mindset for the style of humor it has. And it's hilarious. My sister actually got me this for my birthday last year. So thanks again. And this is just the Blu-ray. I can guarantee they're coming out with a 4K at some point of this because it's The Graduate. And it has a 4K transfer already. So why not? So there is the inside of the classic Miss Robinson. There he is dressed as Scuba Steve. I forget the context for that. But yeah, this one just has like a little pamphlet in there. with essays and whatnot. But this movie, like I said, very funny. Gets better upon rewatch, at least for me. And I would highly recommend it. The best director winning film, The Graduate. And the final one I have, no other movie since The Graduate has won only the best director Oscar until this movie. And that was a mere 2 years ago, or 2 Oscars ago, I should say, with Jane Campion's Power of the Dog, starring Benedict Cumberbatch. I love the artwork on that, is lovely. Like the flowers, good context. So this is a newer release, 11:58, 128 minutes, so not crazy long, but it is very slow and deliberately paced. I personally loved this movie when I saw it. It has a Dolby Atmos track too, which is cool because it's a newer movie. Benedict Cumberbatch is fantastic in this. Out of all the movies nominated for Best Picture that year of 2021, this was the only one, and I've said this before, that I actually could not get out of my head for like a week. I just kept thinking about it. I kept thinking about Benedict Cumberbatch's character and how he seems like, pardon my French, a piece of shit in this movie. Because that's kind of how he comes off. But there's a lot of layers to it, and the more layers you peel away of the onion that is, Benedict Cumberbatch in this movie, the more you actually feel really bad for him as a person. And I love that, because against him you have the brilliant, subtle Cody Smith-McPhee performance, who I personally, as much as I love Troy Kotsur, and I like that he won the Oscar for supporting actor, Cody Smith-McPhee is a very interesting role. It's not the kind of thing that wins Oscars usually, so that's why it was surprising he was such a sure thing to get in so quickly, because, like I said, his role is very subtle, but deliberate. I don't know if it's a weird word to describe it. Like, what he has going through his mind the entire movie, you don't really figure it out until it's too late, but it was always there. And it starts off even from the opening line of the movie, so once you rewatch it and catch that, it's pretty brilliant, to be honest. Power of the Dog, yet another only Best Director winning film from 2021. So that is it. That is my director showcase, as it were, of Oscar-nominated / winning Best Director films in my Criterion collection. There are a few more I could have picked from, but I thought it was more interesting to pick ones that are specifically director-focused, as opposed to just movies everyone likes from good directors. We'll do another one of these soon. Thank you for watching the horror and thriller episodes I've already done. Thank you for commenting on my Instagram, suggesting different genres to do. I'll do the ones I can. Like I said, my Criterion collection is not that massive, but I can get some good combinations out of the ones I have. So on that note, thank you for watching. Check out my TeePublic store as always, and we'll see you next time.
Talk, shop, pop, movies.